Hello, y'all. How you doing? I'll see if anyone's here for the live stream. Realizing it's shape number 50. Number 50. So that was part 3 of the documentary, the TRH and Horror Sheep. I'll bring together so as the parts of the documentary continue to fill out. I'll be able to start to correlate how the different flat earth believers or concave earth believers or convex earth believers. If I remember right, it was actually convex. Her, she says that he's at now, which makes even less sense than flat. But I'll start to be able to correlate the thinking. Like you notice how both DITRH and Fight the Session was like, nobody's been to another planet. How do you know it's real? Nobody's been to the stars or whatever. A position based upon ignorance, a position based upon people not knowing. So it lets me know that if your position depends upon people not knowing or not having experience, then it doesn't seem like that's a good position. And y'all saw in part 2 when I informed Fight the Deception that I have gone to outer space, then he doesn't accept it anyway. Well, tell me who's been. Oh, well, I don't accept it. I doubt DITRH would anyway. Just like to do with NASA. They just deny it. So, anybody here? Anybody have any questions on this part 3? Any comments? And if you're not here at the moment, you could put a comment in the chat. So I'll see how long I'll stay. I'll probably stay a bit longer today. I know that some people post after the show saying they missed it. Maybe I'll start the stream later. Maybe I'll do that and start it like around 3 o'clock Central Time. I'm pretty sure I'll continue, if not every week, at some point. I'm considering simply spending more time on my development and such. Maybe starting the stream again when I have some people join the class. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go to DarrylLeeBerryJr.com. The link right there is on the page. And maybe focus on the stream on out-of-body experiencing and whatever techniques or experiments or what have you we're doing with the class whenever the class starts. Let me see how many views we had on the last one. Looks like a few people tuning in, but there's not so many really. So I may actually delay. Oh, there's Gently's there. This is as I was saying. Awesome. Welcome, Gently's. Well, everything's going good. There's no one to debate. Well, I guess there always. Like when I put part 2 up, there's this guy that responded. I don't know his name. I don't remember his name. I'm sure I can look it up, but it's not so important. He was saying all kind of da-da-da-da-da, you're this, you're that. So I was like, well, look, we'll just come on the show next week, and you could have your piece. That'll be fine. And he was like, no, I don't want to come on until I'm going to write a book about my position. I looked at a few of his videos, and he apparently believes that the Earth is like on some kind of, almost like it's inside this little wheel. I forgot what he called it, but it's just something absolutely ridiculous. But he doesn't want to come on unless I watch his book, read his book after he puts his book out, unless I read his book first, which I doubt I'll do, because I'm spending less time wasting it debating with flat earth people. Like, I don't know if you remember Gently's when, who was it when Multi-Time was on, And I believe I must have talked about the out of body experience, either that talk or the talk before. Um, and he came on saying, "Oh, it's impossible to go to the spiritual world. There's like spiritual beings can come here, but it's impossible to go there." And I was like, "Well," and he was trying to make what I was saying into a belief. Oh, well, you believe this, you believe that, which I notice people frequently do when you bring up some tangible thing that's outside of what they want to believe. They try to make what you're saying a belief. They try to talk it into being a belief too. I'm not sure if they do that consciously or not. So I established, look, I'm not talking about a belief. This is my experience. So if you're saying my experience is wrong, or if you have some other kind of evidence presented, and then he started talking about something else. So yeah, I cut him off, and I was like, look, I was about to tell him, look, if now you're changing the subject, present your evidence or don't, and he left, probably because he doesn't want his delusion to be infringed upon. So I'm spending much less time wasting my time with ignorant people or stupid people or whatever the case is. So I don't plan on reading this guy's book. But if you ever want, maybe one day I'm like extra bored. I mean, I have to be like super extra bored and have read every single book in my bookshelf so far. It's probably never going to happen. Um, but yeah, at this point, it just doesn't look like there's anybody to debate unless that guy happens to pop up and wants to come on. Um, and we could find out where he heavily falls, whether it's stupidity, ignorance, denial, delusion, or laziness. But so far, every single one is fit into one or more of these categories. At least as I see it. If y'all could point out where one of you flat earth believers want to come point out where it's not stupid or ignorant or deluded or some kind of denial or some kind of laziness just not doing the work. I'm happy to see if you can fall outside of one of those, but so far it seems to be pretty consistent. What's been going on with you, gentleys? And did you see the preview the premiere, by the way? Did you see the premiere of part 3? It's going to take a little while for the stream to catch up to him. For those who, everybody who's watching, what do y'all think about that background image right there? I remember I made a video, a challenge to Flat Earth called about the sunlight, the sun being under clouds. And somebody brought this up on social media earlier. I was like, I'll make that as a background image. Of course, we know the sun is setting. So being that the planet is rotating away from the sun, the angle of the sunlight is skimming across the surface of the planet at that angle directly from the sun. So it looks like the sun is underneath the clouds. I believe the flat earthers usually try to explain this with refraction or perspective or something, you know. And let me know, by the way, what topic you all would like for the next one. So I may wait until there is some strong interest for another stream, or like somebody presents a topic they would like, or when the class starts. Let me see here. So gently saying that he spent some time on Jose's channel, not making any headway with flat earthers. I think I've watched all your recent videos, but I don't recall them offhand. Yeah, I don't go to Jose's anymore, and that's one reason why I've been spending less time around. I don't know if you saw, I put it in one of the videos I had where he called me a liar for when I said that I practice telekinesis. For those who may not know, years ago, I used to experiment with telekinesis. And one of the exercises you can do is you can take a needle, like a regular sewing needle. You can take a glass of water or a cup of water, and if you gently put that needle on top of the water, it'll float. Like the sewing needle will float on the surface tension of the water. And it took about a month of practice, but after about a month, I was able to make that needle spin back and forth using just my mind, using just telekinesis. And I experimented with it enough to satisfy myself that I was doing it with telekinesis. Another telekinesis thing I did, which I actually forgot about for a while. I don't think I mentioned it before I talked with Jose that day. But this was around a period of time when I was heavy into my practices and stuff. And I was able to make a circle open up in the clouds. So if you could imagine, like the sky is overcast, and I will focus on the part of the sky, the clouds, and I'll make a circle open up in the clouds. It was pretty neat. But at the time, he had said that he saw my video when I was talking about the telekinesis with the needle. And I used to go around to different people's channels, hopping on and stuff like that. And he took the time to say, oh, I thought that was bullshit, and I tried to do telekinesis and it didn't work and stuff like that. So I told him basically I don't see the point of being on somebody's channel or talking with somebody who think I'm a liar. So I'm out. And that's the last time I've been on this channel. I think that's the last time I've been on anybody's channel. So yeah, man, it just seems like you talk to flat earth people, and as I've been, I believe, demonstrating, they're stupid, ignorant, deluded, in denial, or lazy. So that's probably why you're not getting anywhere with them, gentlies. Then I go on, Glober's channels too. They calling me a liar and stuff like that. So I don't want to go on his channel at all. Yeah. Other experiences I've had on other people's channels as well. I won't get into. It hasn't been worth my time, and it hasn't been an enjoyable experience. So I just been doing other things. And gently said, I saw he called you a liar. It's unfortunate he did that, but you have to realize you're opposing his reality, and people react differently to that. That's true. People react differently. That's his reality, his experience. That's fine. But yeah, I can certainly see. So like you make a good point. That's opposing my reality. That's opposing my view. What a scientist might do is might say, well, okay, well, you're saying you experienced this. Maybe how did you do it? Maybe I practiced it a wrong way. Maybe the way I did it did not yield results. Or maybe I didn't do it as long as you did. Or maybe you did it more strenuously with more effort than I did. There's other explanations than you're lying. So it's not even the fact that what I'm saying may be opposing his reality or his experience. Is that you don't have to jump straight to your lying. There's other explanations than you're lying. So just the fact that that's the mindset he's in, I see no point in talking to him. There's nobody I could have a friendship with, because obviously there's no trust there. It seems disrespectful to me. It seems rather unscientific. I can certainly see how he could be a flat earth believer in the past, if that's the level of scientific thought you have. Not, well, how did you do it? What did you do? Maybe I could try to practice it that way. Yeah, it's just, I have other things I could do with my time, other people I could talk with. I could just watch a movie rather than talk to somebody who thinks in that way and who will, approach me in that way. So, yeah. But as far as this stream, I'm thinking about, I have a few people show up. I appreciate you showing up, gently. There's not so many. But, maybe as long as one person show up, I'll still show up as well. So I'll see what happens. But one thought I'm having is maybe waiting until the class starts and making it sort of a discussion for the people in the class to sort of address their questions and concerns, as well as make a sort of live discussion as well on it. Let me see how that goes. Um, well, cool. And by the way, Gentleys, I heard you say that you saw, at least I saw you type that you saw the recent videos I put. Do you, would you conclude that the the five principles seem to be accurate for the flat Earth believers, the convex Earth believers, convex or concave, whichever one, the stationary Earth? Do you think those five principles, with the examples I've been giving, do you think they've been reasonable according to the definitions of those words? And I always have the definition of the words on the screen. Uh, do you think that's reasonable conclusions, reasonable definitions to match what they're demonstrating with their reasoning or lack thereof? I'll give them a moment to respond. Awesome. Well, I have a lot more videos to do so. I actually enjoy putting those together and at least giving some kind of so I guess it's just not a waste of time. so so that all that time I spent talking to these people, it's not just a waste of time. At least I could put some kind of deduction I can make from those interactions and discussions, and I'm sure as the parts continue to get added, more and more of the correlations will start to build. Just like how I was saying how both Fight the Deception and DITRH was like nobody's ever been there. It seems to be enough justification, even if I haven't been there. That's the basis of your position. Just the basis of people not knowing or the certainty that people can't possibly know. Therefore, your position is amazing. Um, so and eventually I plan on putting all the different pieces together and making one, putting it together, excuse me, as one big documentary, which I see it as in the end. Every single one, I'm keeping it around 30 or 40 minutes, so it looks like I'm up to about an hour and 40 minutes or 2 hours at this point, all of them together. So I only got through like half of the video with DITRH this time. I actually was about to put the whole thing together, but it's gonna end up being like an hour and a half or something. So um, I'll probably do the rest of those another time. The funniest thing though is the part when he was saying that you could see some of the same stars every 6 months. It's like, oh my gosh. So do you think the show should be later? Do you think 2 p.m. Central Time is a good time, Gentleys, or do you think it should be a later time? I'll probably take a moment for the stream to catch up to him. Ah, understandable. Well, what I'll do, uh, that's what I'll do. I'll make it earlier. So I figure out a time, maybe noon my time, which will be 7 your time. And that's what I'll do is get the part 4 together. And maybe I'll do somebody else, another one, maybe Riley, and see how that works. So cool, man. Look for me 12 p.m. Central Time next week. And thank you for showing gently. I appreciate it. And at least one person is here. I'll keep it rocking. And I'll make part 4, either part 4 next week or a different topic. And I'll be here at 12 p.m. Central Time next time. So I'll make sure to advertise that. And I know some people enjoy later too, so I could make it a variable time. But for now, I'll move it up a bit earlier, which will probably be good for my schedule as well, depending on how my future schedule may be. So cool. Thank y'all for showing. Gently, so whoever, I see there's 2 viewers, so whoever the other viewer is, thank you for watching as well. I'll go ahead and end the stream at this point, and I'll go ahead and be back 12 p.m. Central Time next week, either with a topic, maybe metaphysics, or another flat earth thing. And I gently says maybe I can invite Riley next time. I doubt he'll come. We had a debate, and afterwards, when I was finished, he was on his channel saying, "Man, I don't know how to handle that guy," or something like that. So, and we were supposed to talk again, and he didn't want to come. So I doubt he will come on my channel again. I've yet to find, actually, except SE Montreal. He did come on 3 times, even though he spoke with. It was mainly with Sean, but most of them don't want to talk with me more than once. So, I'll try. I'll see if he wants to come on and debate you, and maybe he will. I don't know what his time schedule is, but I'll talk to him and see, and I'll let you know. What he says. I'll put a message on the discussions on your channel. I believe there's a discussion on your channel, and I'll see if he wants to debate with you next week at around 12 p.m. Central Time. So we'll see. You never know. I'll ask. But if not, either I'll talk about a metaphysical topic next week, which sounds most likely. I didn't talk about a metaphysical topic in a while, or I'll have part 4 of the principles documentary together, or both. So cool, man. Thanks for showing. I'll holler at y'all next time.